Well, I had listed that thing to say reindeer went someplace else. So anyway, so understanding, normally I would try to put this on the other thing, but I'm making this comment because it has something to do with human rights, and now we're talking about some of the things that have been played into, like I said, civil rights, human rights, and stuff like that, and where there's commentaries that are on this information and how it has somewhat interfered with, let's say, people in that conversation of uniting. Now, readily, if any of these people are aware of what's been going on, then there's been an active, it has been active in regards to separating people, not only to sit there and talk about addictions and stuff like that, but redlining. I mean, when you start talking about real estate, it became just that. Matter of fact, somebody was explaining to me, I was in a session or something, and they were saying that originally it said life, liberty, and the pursuit of property, or housing or real estate or whatever. And then they said that they had changed it to say happiness. Now here it is, you at your home. Now there's one thing. Now there's two different kind of houses that we're talking about. Okay, we could talk about house as here it is, your place to stay, and then house meaning your temple, your body, your being. You understand? So some people say, well, here it is, the house, you building your house, or you trying to take care of your house. Some people would be talking to you about their property, which is their property is their being. But, one thing or the other. But no, we're talking about the house as we know it when you start talking about, building. Because you have your government, you have your organizations, your house could be your business. But anyway, what it was with all that kinging, what was happening, kinging in a negative sense. Now when you have people say, "Well, my house is or my throne," and stuff like that, and it's just like, well, yeah, you would think that that space that you have with you and yours and your, the things that you earn and all that other kind of stuff. But this stuff actually had went to where it was speaking on, I'm sorry, it was a little lighter earlier, but it got a little dark in regards to the color, but it's all good. um but the thing was is that the man, okay, a man or a woman, it wasn't, well, I can't say that because he was in a different light. But when we look at, let's say, and that's not true either, because you have men who have given their kids, let's just say, the keys, but it became clear miseducation. That's why I say it depends on how some of these men were talking about black people, why they were involved with the mixing, because they were the ones who was inheriting not only their land, but let's say a business or something like that. And if these men were talking negative, or these women were talking negative about their people, then those people had grew up under, ostracizing. Here it is, the work. You know what I'm saying? Or ostracizing the giving aspect of it. Because at first I was getting ready to say, well, if they already know what was going on in regards to color, then they already was part of, let's say, the separatism or segregation, or they were a part of maintaining that kind of conversation that is relative to saying, oh, well, here it is, these people, this, that, and the other. Then they want to be like, well, look, all your kids and stuff, they're this color and this, that color. And you're like, okay, I ain't trying to take an argument, but what happens is that now these people are so caught up in the skinny, and then they want to say that they're, because my ankle fit you, honey. I had a few people say, and I know they mama comes black, but they was like, oh, we're skinny. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to have, you love your kids, okay? We love our kids, but it would be, once that thing go on and start talking about that separatism, and that thing that I'm talking about is our government system that want to be like, okay, well, they trying to clunk people or put people in these different brackets, because now these men are involved, and then you have these people saying, well, yes, we're with you, and this other group, we're with you. But then there it goes again. Once you go black, you never go back. Meaning now that they have been mixed in, how do you suppose that they, you know what I'm saying? So these people be like, oh, well, they're coming back, they're trying to care for their people, but then you don't get the credit. So while they sitting there going back and forth talking about that person, that thing, this thing, how are you building up your stuff and getting credit for your thing? We do have people who are doing a lot of grand things. I'm not disputing that. Okay, there would be. Oh, well, here it is. Oh, you sure you're part of the human rights? Yep. Yep. So anyway, yeah, when people start talking about this and be like, oh, okay, well, most of them they brought in all these women here and this, that, and the other, and almost makes you wonder. Say, well, here it is. Do you love you? So I call it king because here it is. If it was somebody, then you understand what I'm coming from. Yes, queen, king, yes. And them ain't gonna flip you, honey. Them books that went to the wrong place. But yes, liberty too. Them books, I ain't tell you the God honest truth, honey. I wanted to do a lot more than that. We got plenty of books in the library. You can read on it. But for real though, there's plenty books. You could go to the library, you could get it. There's a whole lot of liberty. And that was the thing to talk about history. Boy, I'm telling you, honey, become a witness even on was it choreography? All them maps. And I ain't talking about the road map. So anyway, I mean it's not so much that it's not inclusive, but then I was looking at this thing and being among people, and I was just looking at it just like, well, for real, somewhere in there I told you I had went to church, and they were having this little ballerina thing, and a little girl, me, was out there, and I told her, I said, you get your ass up and you go in there, you participate. You out here in the lobby, you go in there, you participate. She didn't, she was like, well, I don't know. And we were at church. And I tell you, you going to get your ass up and you going to go and participate. That's what I said. I want to see you dance and become a ballerina and dance it out like that too. So yes, honey, we already know not only the conversation of here it is school days. And honey, we can sit there and talk about we in the kingdom. You gotta look now. Honey, we saw that man on the wall, honey. You can call Alan all day long if you want to. You understand where I'm coming from? Honey, I mean, here it is, just had us up underneath the car like that shit was okay. So yes, honey, we have to be. I don't want to say concerned, but when that radio, because that radio's been on for a minute now, and it's just been over there just singing about all that racism and colorism, and so I just want to tell her like a TI is, because somewhere in there while we sit there talking about here it is, we all for all and all for one. I was like, we all for all. Now that all the ones for us, and we are for what? And I was like, well, I told you one means D, so I don't know what that means because that could be the sea, like we're on the water or something. I told you here it is the sea. So anyway, when you see here it is, and then on that particular movie, Queen, she actually had some black boys. It wasn't even black girls; it was black boys, and she went to her mom's house, a white woman. And they could have stayed there, but she took her kids right all the way back to here it is where they came from in the woods. And her mama was alone, but they could have stayed there, meaning that they could have been living a big life. But that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? One moment, my neighbor. Hey, babe. One moment. What you doing? Okay, one moment. It wasn't that I was interrupted, but yes. See you later. What you doing?